Hello, it's Giles here, and this week we're going to be looking at the drivetrain. So basically, for the power, we're going to be using one of these small outrunner brushless motors, and I've just built this motor block initially, just for experimenting with the angles needed and how far away we need to mount it, etc., etc. And so that just goes there, and you can see we've got these two little pulleys on here, and that really cemented my idea of using belts for the drivetrain. It seems like the most sensible idea. But we want a bit of gearing down between the motor and the drive shafts. So we're going to completely remake both of these to be about twice the size. And we're going to make a little tiny dual pulley on the end of the shaft. I'm going to push the shaft so it extends this way rather than that way. And we're going to make a little set of pulleys that attach onto that end. And in that way we should have about 2 to 1, 3 to 1, 4 to 1. We'll see how big the pulleys end up being. Reduction on the powertrain, and we got 2 separate pulleys for each of the propellers, so that if one of the propellers gets jammed, then we should still have thrust, etc. So I'll go out and do the milling now, and we'll make another one of these later, which is adjustable, which means that we'll be able to tension the belts properly. So let's just jump out to the shed. Okay, so here's the pulley I just turned up, and it fits really nicely down there, so I don't think there's any worry about it fitting. I'm just going to take some M3 bolts, cut them short, and make them into little grub screws to fit on here, and then make an identical one, and the bit that fits on here. Okay, so I'm absolutely chuffed. I've got this the motor mounted. I glued it down with a bit of hot glue gun. It doesn't matter that I've not got the adjustable one because it works beautifully. I've just put rubber bands as the belts. I'll be adding some O-rings when it's necessary. I made up another one of these. I made up the central hub. I put it in, programmed the thing. I found a battery, and basically what I've got is it's working. It's actually working. So it makes annoying beeping noises when it turns on, and you have to remember to turn the radio on. I'm just using DX5E that I had from ages ago. There we go, it's all started up, and it's working. Look, there's steering. Can't see the rudders. But you can see the motor spin when I put the thumbs up. So I'm really happy. I'm going to go and test it in the bath, see how fast it goes, because this thing, I'm barely touching the throttle, and it's got some pretty serious spin. So, I mean, I'm slightly worried that it's going to sort of over-rev, but that doesn't matter. I can stick to the really low throttles, but it's going to shift along when it's all set up. So, next up will be the bath test, and after that, that's pretty much it I've got time for this week. So next week, I discussed, is going to be actually making the model look nice, and that's going to be, well, possibly more than 1 week, actually. But thank you very much. If you Okay, so here's bath test number 1. Obviously it doesn't have very far to go, but you can see it does go. Unfortunately, this motor controller doesn't actually have support for reverse, so probably going to have to get a new motor controller, but I can drive it against the wall and then... It does have the ability to stir the bath up quite a lot.
Join us next time when Giles builds a device to measure where our laps go when we stand up. Like and subscribe.